Hey everyone, it's New. If you are anything like me, you've built quite a few Gunpla kits and your backlog is... You know what, let's just not talk about our backlog. But even though you love Gunpla, you are always looking for something new and shiny. I loved Zoids as a kid. I remember sitting on the living room floor watching Liger Zero get deployed and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. I remember my friend bringing a Liger Zero toy to school and being incredibly jealous. I went home and I told my parents, but we never saw Liger Zero action figure in the store to my dismay. Looking back, I now wonder if it was actually one of those old model kits. So, when I was in the store that shall not be named the other day, it's Hobby Lobby, and saw Zoid kits on the shelves, the rush of nostalgia I felt was something else. I had a vague idea through searches that this was a new line of kits called the Realize line, which are 1/100th scale versus the long-running 1/72nd scale HMM line from Kotobukiya. HMM stands for high-end master models. I know, fancy. I bought a few kits. Again, let's not talk about the backlog. And went home and built the Blade Liger, then the Genosaur. Then suddenly I was planning out a custom Command Wolf. That's when I realized how much fun I was having building these kits. Again, I've built quite a few Gunpla. High grades, real grades, master grades, and even the PGU Grandpa. While I do get some renewed joy from the individual gimmicks of each kit, sometimes there just isn't a huge difference between one armored humanoid kit from another. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I sounded like an addict chasing a high. And honestly, I don't think that is that far off. There is something about building a kit that is genuinely different from anything you've built before. The way you have to actually think about what you are doing instead of just going on autopilot. It's why the second MGSD kit never gets built right after I finish the first, no matter how excited I was to do just that. It gets boring. All of that to say, my perspective on the Realize line of Zoids is inevitably going to be colored in a warm, buttery light of nostalgia and building something novel. But that's why you clicked this video, right? You saw the title and said to yourself, hey, I love building Gundam kits. Maybe I should check out those weird mecha animals that I remember from when I was little. Maybe you saw them at a Hobby Lobby near you and became Zoids curious just like me, but hesitated to pull the trigger. Maybe you're even standing in the Hobby Lobby model aisle right now, watching this video as your significant other stands there pleading for you to just buy the damn kit so you can leave. Before I go deeper, I'll give you the TLDR spoiler. If you enjoy building model kits and have traditionally stayed in the Gundam lane, this is your sign to just let yourself wander a little. I honestly don't think you could go completely wrong with any of the current line that you will find on store shelves. If I had to make a recommendation though, pick up either the Blade Liger or the Genosaur depending on which one strikes your fancy more. I chose the Raven Special version of the Genosaur because I just thought it looked cooler. Rule of cool, baby. Either one is a fantastic and refreshing building experience. They both have a few quirks that I will touch on in a minute, but that's the quick and dirty of it. So what even is the Realize line? Well, think of it as the high grade of Zoids. It launched in early 2025 under Takara Tomi's T-Spark brand, and the whole philosophy is the same. Accessible builds, good color separation straight from the box, and generally no painting to get a result you're happy with. There's definitely details to paint up if you so desire, and I did just that with the Blade Liger. It just isn't mandatory. The HMM line from Kotobukiya is the big brother. 1/72nd scale, more complex, more everything. The Realize line, on the other hand, is 1/100th scale, which puts it in the same ballpark as high grades dimensionally. It's a different animal, but if you understand where high grade sits in the Gunpla ecosystem, you already know how to think about this. I do feel the need to point out that these are polycap based. Some people don't mind them, I personally don't, but I know some people hate them. Not a deal breaker, just good to know before you sit down. Now the not so quick and dirty. While I love these kits and would recommend picking one up to try, they aren't perfect. First of all, the regular price on these are steep. Hobby Lobby is currently the US distributor, so their shelf price is basically the market price. The Blade Liger is normally $57.99 USD, and the Genosaur Raven Special is a whopping $84.99 USD. Hobby Lobby seems to run their 40% off sale basically all the time at this point, which brings those down to $34.79 and $50.99 respectively. I know, shocking that I prefer paying less for things. Weird. Looking around online, the prices track similarly to online retailers. That is, the sale price, I should say. So I think this is one of those tricky situations where the sale price is just the real price. So if Hobby Lobby stops doing their 40% off sale on model kits, just keep in mind that would definitely affect how I feel about picking these up. I'm only going to really judge the 2 kits I've actually assembled and not the mountain of boxes sitting behind me waiting for my dirty mitts. But from what I've seen on the Zoids subreddit, the reception of the line in general is positive. I know, positivity in 2026? I couldn't believe it either. These 2 kits for their sales / I guess normal price are well worth the money. When I look at Gundam kits I have picked up recently at similar price points, I would say that I'm more happy with the hobby fun I got out of the Zoids. Posing something other than a bipedal humanoid mech was fun and made me remember when I first started building mecha models. That thing I was talking about earlier, building something that actually makes you think. I felt it here. I remember just enjoying sitting and posing the models in different dynamic poses and seeing what I could do. Not to say that I don't still do that, but again, a quadruped mech Liger is going to be a completely different posing experience. Will this fade over time? I'm sure it will, but does that diminish the fresh fun I'm having right now? I don't think so. Posing the Blade Liger was fun. Figuring out what worked and what just made it look, well, kinda derpy. Wings out in a dive bomb pose, mid-pounce. You can have a good time with it. The cockpit opens up and there's a 1/100th scale pilot figure inside. There's one for Van and one for Fiona, which is a nice touch. I haven't painted any of the pilots yet, but might have to try my hand at it to see how it turns out. It also comes with clear effect parts for the laser blades, which I thought was pretty cool. One small quirk worth flagging here. The cockpit visor on my model has a slight gap when closed, especially when Fiona is inside, then it becomes a little bit more than minor. I've seen varying amounts of this online from other people, but I feel like I should point it out. If you're the type to notice that kind of thing, just know it going in. The kit also feels surprisingly solid in hand. Dense is the best word for it, in a way that a lot of high-grade Gunpla just don't, I find. Alright, move over, Blade Liger. It's Genosaur's turn. Again, I chose the Raven Special version, and honestly, I didn't think I'd end up liking this one more than the Blade Liger, but here we are. I feel the posing is more limited, and the joints can be a little bit more finicky. You're not going to be putting this guy on a flight stand, but the effect parts do a lot of heavy lifting. The gun blast, the charged particle cannon, and the hyper killer claws, where the forearms physically detach and reconnect via a cable. It's just so cool, and part of the reason why I couldn't stop playing with my newly built dino standing on my desk. The trade-offs is the arms pop off pretty easily during normal posing, and once the cable's on, getting it back off is actually a bit of a fight. So they come off when you don't want them to, and stay on when you do. Oh, and Raven's in there too, and comes with a little shadow figure. The cockpit opens right up to seat Raven. I'm planning to do a full dedicated review on both of these, so if you want a deep dive on either kit, those are coming. Overall, I am extremely happy with my purchase of these 2, and I'm so excited to start working on the other kits I was able to grab from the Realize line. I grabbed Iron Kong, Command Wolf, and 2 flavors of Hellcat. The white Tyrol standalone version, as well as the Hellcat Molga combo that comes in the darker Xenobus colors. As I said earlier, I actually bought 2 of the Command Wolf kits with the intention of making a custom out of one, which is something I never felt comfortable doing with a Gundam kit. Maybe it's just something in my brain, but doing a custom of a humanoid kit just seemed too daunting and hard to get right. If that makes any sense to you, let me know down in the comments. And the line is only getting bigger. There's already a solid catalog out, and more on the way. The Mirasame Liger, Lightning Saix, Storm Sorter, Liger Zero Falcon, and it sounds like everyone's favorite roly-poly boy might be coming to the line as well. Shout out to my Gustav fans. So, if you pick one up and catch the bug, as of right now, you will have a steady stream of upcoming kits to look forward to. I also picked up this bad boy, the Liger Zero Panzer from the HMM line. I figured with how much I enjoyed the Realize line, I should give the Big Brother line a proper look, and I found this one on sale. If you want to see how that one stacks up, make sure you're subscribed, as there will definitely be a video coming for that. I'll see you then.